might need some help next time. He wanted to do it by himself.
He needs this machine, man.
Start settling down, guys. We're gonna get this thing done by 7:30. Let's go. All right, guys. If you are a transferred, you're all the way back in the corner where Gone Quash is at. Transfers in the corner. Provisionals, the training class over to my left, probably your right, and associate members.
Say any coaches and stuff right here.
If you are a coach or AD, your table is right here in the center. Coaches and ADs, your seat is here in the center. So as a recap, all transfers and folks who were not voted in the corner. Let's hustle in and get this thing started. Past time, let's go. Need quiet, need quiet. Can't get started till you're quiet. All right, I'm still waiting on you. I'm still waiting on you to be quiet. Let's go. I need quiet over in the corner. I want to call your name out, but I will. All right, let's be quiet. You gotta show some respect. All right, thank you for attending our meeting today. It's our first business meeting and our training meeting. I know we still have some folks in the hallway. Make sure you check in with Zach. If you're not on the list, you're absent. So we don't want to hear in January or March or April that you came to the October meeting. If your name has not been checked off, you're absent. And I think you know me by now. If you're absent, you're going to get some paperwork in the form of green stamps at the end of the season. So make sure that you are present. Yes, sir. Quick question. Hold up, we're getting there. We're getting there. Also, last call. If you have not checked in, you're not present. All right? We're not going to accept anymore that, hey, you saw me here, you saw me there. It's not going to work. All those on webinar as well, make sure you're logged in. Make sure that you are viewing, because we have secret spyware where we can actually look at you at your living room to see if you're looking at us. All right? Remember that. Remember that. All right, also get your books. Benny and Sheriff Holmes is back there. Make sure you get your books. Do not ask us to meet you at McDonald's or at Hardee's for your book. If you fail to get your book today, we will mail them to you at a $10 postage that will come out of your end of your check at the end of the year. And that is no joke. That's what's going to happen. All right. So, everybody's ready? All right, we have drinks here. The pizza is running behind, but they're on the way. We'll just integrate that with everything else. So pizza and drinks will be here available for you as part of our membership get together. At our front tables, if you have not noticed, we have several our coaches and our ADs from the various schools that have joined us today. I have a list, but I'm not sure if everybody on this list showed up. We have that's listed that will show up, or Highland Springs varsity girls coach, Caroline County varsity boys coaches, Manchester Middle School, Tomahawk Middle School, Meadowbrook varsity boys, Meadowbrook varsity girls, Henrico girls head coach, Trinity, Goochland boys, King Wim varsity girls, Huguenot varsity boys, King Wim assistant AD, and Midlow AD. How about a round of applause for our coaches and ADs? Now, the reason that the board invited our coaches and ADs, because we feel that they're part of us. Our training staff today is going to talk about some things that would interest both coaches, ADs, and officials. In the past, what we've done is have a head coach or AD, some form, but that would take a long time. And so mutually, the information that we'll be giving to our body here from our interpreter, Mr. Stone, and the training staff will be mutually respected and good information for all of us. This year and last year, a lot of changes with ADs and coaches. A lot of new coaches. So we want to make sure we're all on the same page. We all go by the National Federation book. Those are the rules. There are some caveats, some questions that the coaches have. We sent a survey or an email if the coaches had some specific questions. For example, if you have a question like, how do you determine which official to send to my gym? Or, can I scratch that person? Or, was that a block or was that a charge? I want you to look at the tape. We're not going through all of that today. Those questions will be directed to our commissioner, Ann Lewis, for sidebar or other communications. Now, if you have a question, for example, like membership and coach and or AD about a specific rule, was a block, charge, hand checks, when will I call it? If I got two hands on or one hand, Mr. Stone will be able to assist you in any of those questions. If any of the coaches or ADs have questions about a specific rule, don't feel like you're out there left by yourself. I can give you Mr. Stone's information. You call him directly, he'll tell you verbatim what the rule says and what we're being taught about that specific rule. I think that's a great training aid for all of us. So don't feel like you're left out there by yourself. Also, our understanding is if the coaches, whether it be boys or girls, have an issue about a particular night, then get up with your AD, and that AD will contact Aaron Lewis for clarification. Ejections. Why did my coach get thrown out of that game? I didn't know I couldn't go across the court to talk to an official with anger in my voice and eyes. All that sort of stuff. So be mindful of that. We're here to help the coaches. The coaches are here to help us. As I tell our executive staff, it is a business. It's a business model, but it's also for the student athlete. It's not for the coaches. It's not for the officials. It's not for the fans. It's for the student athlete to achieve, to learn discipline, and so forth. All right? So that's as far as we'll go on that. Again, thank the coaches and ADs. And I want everybody to mingle with the coaches and ADs. They have first shot at the pizzas. Guys, first shot to our coaches and ADs for the pizzas. All right? All right, again, thank you. And I want to remind all of you that this year is our election year. Both president, vice president, commissioner, treasurer, interpreter, and 4 at large and treasurer are up this year. It will go as following. I sent this out in May about all of our meetings, right? Whether it's in person or webinar. This year, October 28th, today is in person. November 4 is webinar. November 11 is webinar. November 11th was an added meeting. Now, webinars are meetings, just like anything else. I added that day because according to VHSL rules, we have to have 6 of them, a minimum. I added that meeting.
Which one was that on?
November 11th. All right, so during November 11th, there will be an hour meeting. Mr. Stone will go over rules, points of emphasis, and if you have not taken your VHSL test, I think I'd probably be on that November 11th webinar, right? December 9 in person here, January 13th web, February 10 in person, which is our last meeting. We'll go over speeches for those who have been nominated for the positions that I just mentioned. That day we'll hear a speech from you. All right. Election ballots will start midnight on February 10 and run to the end of February 17th. We will start the nominating process December 9. If you have someone to nominate, send that email to Zach, the secretary. And if you're going to nominate somebody, make sure that they're going to accept. Don't nominate someone and they don't want to do the job. And again, some of those rules are summertime. You will have meetings. It's not just during basketball season. It is a year-long assignment. For example, we had meetings this summer. As president, what I did was I called ADs. I went to Manchester for the grade card per se and met as 29 ADs. I also went to the Northern Neck because it is a business, so I wanted to make sure we had their business. I called them about any problems they had previous seasons. I visited VHSL in Charlottesville. along with Mr. Stone and our treasurer Alan Gravitt, to make sure we're up to date on all this stuff. So it's not just, if you want to run for a position, it's not just 3 or 4 months during the season. It is a year-long assignment. So just be mindful of that. All right, Cliff, if you would deliver some pizzas to our coaches and ADs, and then we'll go from there, try to keep some order with this. So, does anybody have any questions before I move forward?
No, you said November 4th is the ad, right? November 4th is your new ads?
November 4 is webinar.
That's an ad. That's the one that's not in your email.
November 11th is ad. 11.
11th is email. The 4th I didn't.
Yeah. Well, we sent out a revised one, so, but just remember 4 and 11. 4 and 11 are webinar. Now, the attendance policy has not changed. We're not beating that dead horse. The attendance policy is this. You have 3 opportunities to make a meeting, right? Seems like I have to explain it every year. In person, on the web, those folks who are viewing us now, because we're all around the state, roughly nearing 400 members now, and you have 7 days from today to view that meeting via video. If you fail to do 3 of those, you already know what I'm going to do. That's just, that's why you elected me, to make sure the rules are followed, and I'm going to follow those rules. You'll be absent. There are no exceptions. I mean, we're already 3 ways to do this, and you got to do one of them, right? I prefer that you're here in person, because I like looking at your beautiful smiling faces. And that's a true statement. So you have those 3. Some other things that I've learned from ADs, coaches, and the VHSL, right? Our rules are, we dress a little different going to the games. That's going to continue to be enforced. There are no blue jeans. There are no combat boots. There is no hat on backwards. You know what the rule is. If you're reported, I'm fining you. We already clear on that. Postseason is coat and tie. You're to be there early. If there's something that's wrong about being late, you need to make sure you contact Aaron Lewis, the commissioner. Will be enforced. A new one this year. Do not go in the stands shaking hands. That is a no-no. You're professional folks. You're going to do a professional job. I don't mind you going into the gym saying, where is the gym administrator? Maybe the principal, maybe the AD, because you need to know who the administrator is in case there's a problem. But you're not to go up and sit beside Grandpa in the stands at halftime, kissing babies. We're not running for election. We're not a political board. We're there to do a job. That's the way it's going to be. Why do I say that? It's because I was told by the ADs in the Virginia high school, that happened in a state game last year. That particular board has already lost a playoff game at the Siegel Center this year. That's not going to be us. So I want you to be professional at all times and go and do a job and let us know. If there is an issue with your dressing room, you don't know where to go, you're having an issue, let Aaron know. He'll call the ADs and get it straight. Don't go complaining because you don't have water. I'm only hoping coaches and ADs will help us out with that. But that's not, we can't demand that they give us a hot dog or a pizza or something like that at the end of the game. That's at the discretion of the school and the coaches. All the leagues that we have, they treat us just fine. There may be some exceptions, but we'll take care of those. So that's just a reminder. And just a caveat for the coaches and ADs reference that. Any questions so far? All right, so The budget is online. Mr. Stone and Aaron will talk a little bit about Whistle and the arbiter system. There's a difference this year. I hope the coaches and ADs know there's a difference this year. VHSL have now Whistle, where we take our test and exam, which is on right now, and the clinic is going to start November 1. Different from arbiter. It used to be the same. So, in some respects, it's a little bit confusing, and Mr. Stone will talk a little bit about that. He's working on that. I've called VHSL, but it is what it is. And we keep rolling right along. So make sure you take that test. If not, after the deadline is November something else, there's a fine. It's like, I think it starts at $50 and then $100 for the fine. Aaron needs you to take that test right now. He needs your registration in now so he can get you plugged in. My understanding from Aaron's email, November 1 starts, he's going to assign scrimmage games. So he's probably going to tell you about your blocks and all that stuff. So, I mean, we're ready to rock and roll. I mean, it's already here. We're ready to go. I sent an email out back in May or June about your physical well-being. What I'm going to do is have Dr. Jean type up a little something for me about health and welfare, because I'm the type person I like to see you around. So we had a little thing about prostate cancer and those sorts of things that we ignore. I want you guys to be healthy with that, because our season gets long. On a given Tuesday, there's about 110 games going on, or Tuesday or Thursday. That's a lot of basketball. So we need every available person. I also invite our coaches and ADs to join our association. I understand we have several coaches with us, but we would love for you to go to our training class. I think we have a couple more weeks of that, so next year, and become a member of our board. I think you would enjoy our board and the way we do business. All right, so next person up is going to be Aaron Lewis. Yeah, what we'll do is I'll go help and we'll just drop the boxes off. Will that work? Better?
No.
All right, let's do this. All right, you got a few minutes. Let's get the pizza. Let's go.
All right. Just let it go. I'll watch it.
There's a trash bag on every table. Make sure the trash gets in that bag. We'll clean up. We thank Trip here at Lee Davis for allowing us to use the gym every year in the cafeteria. So if you see Trip and those folks with Lee Davis, we want to thank them. Next up, be quiet, respect. All right, next we have our Jim Neal. He's going to talk to you a little bit about our new website, and I keep all the guys on a timer, so we stay on time. All right, Jim.
Thank you, Norman. I think he gave me 3 minutes. I'm going to take 2 minutes. He covered some of the attendance items that I was going to hit. I want to let everybody know that we've got a new website. So in the past, folks have gone to Arbiter Central Hub to get information about what's going on with the membership, meetings and such. We basically ported everything over to mycvboa.net. And there's some good reasons that we've done that. For a little bit of time, we're still going to use Central Hub Arbiter, but probably within the next 2 to 4 weeks, information won't be on there. Interpreter information, meeting information, it's going to be here. And this is just a regular website. We've got some security things that we're going to work on to add some content, but right now it's got everything you need to know as a member. If there's presentation material, we'll post it out there. The commissioners' information, president's letters and emails that go out will be posted on the website. So I'm going to real quickly give an orientation, do it real quick, and move on. So why did we do it? It's cheaper. It's a lot easier to use. You can look at it on your phone and actually navigate to it. There's some really good interpreter information on there that even in pregame, if you have a question about basket interference goaltending, you can click right down on your phone and get a good answer to it with information Jerry's already provided for us. And then over time, once we get the security features fixed up, we'll be able to do chats, have much more kind of formal or informal Q&A with the interpreter, with the president, and again, just something to kind of help the board move forward. So I know it's really hard to see up here. Just don't do it now while the meeting, you pay attention. But as soon as you get out here, go check it out. Check it out on your phone, check it out on your computer. It's got a home section, recruitment, contact info calendar, member information, and CVBOA posts. On the right-hand side of the screen, and it pretty much stays on the screen, there's every single one of our meetings. So you shouldn't have to ask when our next meeting is. It's on the home page. If you click on the link, it'll give you the webinar information. So everything you need to know about our meetings. Good. Under recruitment, information about the training program and our transfer program. Contact info, if you want to just generally contact CVBOA, there's information there. There's information about your executive committee and officers under CVBOA representatives, the school directory, and then for those people that have businesses, personal businesses, you can actually do your advertisement or put a banner out on the site. There's a calendar. Yeah. So this is the CVBOA page, representatives page. Let's keep going, interest of time. Under members, you'll see information that's been sent out to you via email from Aaron and others on how to register. All that information's out there. If you can't find your emails, or it's out there. There's CVBOA governance. If you haven't read our Constitution, you should probably do that. Our attendance policy spells out everything about our attendance policy. Click on that. Dress code policy. It's all out there. There's a section for videos. The videos of the meetings will be out there, and then also training videos. And then there's 2 other sections. There's an interpreter section. So click to the next one. So skip past that. Under the interpreter, it looks a little awkward on the screen, but under there's two different sections. Sorry, Jerry, I didn't talk to you about this too much, but there's rules help, which is basically information that our interpreters put together over the last 2 or 3 years. And instead of reading, you need to read the rule book, but these are very quick snippets of things you need to be thinking about with continuous motion, correctable error. So those are things that we'll continue to monitor and make sure they're up to date with the latest rule book. But good quick reference. Officiating tips is just that, just general officiating information, dealing with coaches and such. And then finally, CVBOA posts. Go to that. You'll see the latest thing was posted yesterday. Jerry Regas is going to talk about it as Big Brothers, Big Sisters. message from the president. Any new information is going to be posted out there. When we get security up and people can actually like log into this, they'll get, or if you sign into it, you'll get automatic updates. So I went over my time limit. I'm done. Thanks. I'm sorry, I forgot one really, really important thing. My man Marfell Barnett, he's the reason we got this new website. He did all the heavy lifting on it, so thanks to Marfell. And more to come. Good stuff.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Marfell. Marfell did a good job. All right, for the coaches and ADs, real quick, we have training videos. We train all the time. We have messages from our interpreter, from our commissioner. So that was one part I do want to convey to you, is that our body trains all the time. It's not only during the season. We train at Randolph-Macon, whether it be at Stewart School. We're constantly throughout the year. Aaron Lewis, you're up.
Good afternoon. How are you? Welcome to the 2018-19 season. First, let me start with, if you have not sent me a registration, I need you to get it done tonight. Zach has some empty copies. You can pick it up. You can sign it tonight. I need your signature on that sheet of paper. And if you're in doubt, come and get one tonight. We have to have that on file, so if VHSL calls and asks me, I can send them the copy of your registration. Okay, see Zach. Now, we've had several questions about Whistle. Whistle is not my product, unfortunately. VHSL contracted someone to go out and build a website for them, and they are unprepared to support it. So, guys, have a seat. Have a seat. We'll get all that stuff straight. We want to make sure everybody getting the information. Okay. So, if you log on to Whistle and you have an issue, the only way I can tell you to do is to call the help center for you. If the help center does not respond, pick up the phone and call VHSL. Unfortunately, I cannot be their support system. I haven't even been able to get through. When I logged in to take my test, it said I was not registered. So I'm having the same problems you have. So I cannot help you with that. We are beginning scrimmage season. On November 1st, I'm prepared to send out the first round of scrimmages. If you have not gone in and done your blocks, please don't call me. I'm telling you now, we get ready to assign scrimmages. Make sure your blocks are up to date. Now, as we move forward, part of this communication thing with the coaches and the ADs, I have offered that we are there 30 minutes prior to the scrimmage. Any of his teammates or their team and their coach, if they have questions, that is the time that they can come and we can answer questions while they're there. Please, show up on time. I'm telling you that 15, 20-minute investment will help us during the season. If a kid asks you a question and we answer it appropriately, it will help us during the season. Everybody understand that? If you are in a situation where you are unsure, get an email and say, let me find out, and I will make sure you get the right answer. Do not guess. We have a support system in place. So, again, we are there to help. Please communicate with them. Take that time at scrimmages to work out any issues that you see. We only have one new rule this year. We'll go over it. It's going to be confusing to everybody, but we'll get through it. Now, one of the biggest questions that we've had so far is about consistency. And the only thing is that I can say about it is that we need to work on it. It starts in pregame, and it goes throughout the game. We can't have one person calling hand check in a crew. So everybody has the same rules. My suggestion is that if you're off the page, you get on the page. If you're a partner and you see something going awry, we got a timeout and say, hey, let's make our calls look the same. We have to improve on the communication. And part of the communicating is understanding what's going on in your game. So that starts with pregame. All right? Now, scrimmages. We have a lot of scrimmages. If you have a certain situation where you expect to be in the state champion for football or a playoff for volleyball, pick up the phone and call me, and we can walk through getting your scrimmages set up. Again, if you have a situation, pick up the phone, let's get it done early. I will find you if you don't work scrimmages. Trust me. All right, now, we got a lot to go over. Are there any questions from the floor that I can answer about the upcoming season besides Wilson? Yes, sir. Got two. Vaughn, go first.
Yeah, just want to make sure that the scrimmages you're going to be assigning, as long as they build out that registration sheet, I'm really talking about my transfer.
Okay.
As long as they build out that registration sheet, they will be getting scrimmages, correct?
That's correct. That is correct. Right. Now, we have a couple of groups that are meeting afterwards. If anyone in your group, Vaughn, if anyone in your transfer group has not been able to get on Arbiter, please get their name and email address so we can connect after the meeting. Same thing with the trainees. If you're having issues getting on Arbiter, I need to know. And most likely it's because you got the wrong email or I couldn't read your handwriting. While I'm on track, those Arbiter profiles need to be complete. It will not allow me to assign you a game if you do not have an address in Arbiter. Furthermore, we need a social security number. We report taxes. You will get a 1099. That complete profile needs to be in Arbiter. And the final piece of Arbiter is that you need a professional picture. And I'm not talking about go and pay somebody to do a headshot. I just want a picture of you that someone could look at and see you. That means I don't need a picture of you kissing your dog and all that stuff. So please take the time to clean up those profiles. Yes, Valentine. I can't even give you a number right now. Our typical margin is about 3. I do not count a trip to the country as 2 scrimmages. That's 1 assignment. just like it would be during the regular season. Yes, sir. No. No. Nope. No new schools this year. All right. Last call. Thank you very much. Look, the easiest way to contact me is email. We are at the beginning of the season. The phone is ringing off the hook. So if you take the time to put an email together, I will respond to you faster than you leaving a message.
Thanks, Aaron. All right, just remember, last year I had an issue with photos on Arbiter. If your photo is not on Arbiter, the executive board has voted that you don't get any assignments. Pretty open shut. No assignments if the picture's not there. Up next is Al. Al's our treasurer. We have put everything online for you to view. If you have any specific questions, we'll get up with Alan. The executive board approved the budget for this year, and I'll be completing the audit before December. Make sure all our business is correct. All right. Up next is Mr. Stone. Before Mr. Stone, we want to thank you guys, and I'm sure he'll tell you too, for all the well wishes. Mr. Stone had a hip replacement, and he's here today. So those who are not here, shame on you. He's here for crutches from a hip replacement. So we wish him well on his recovery.
Thanks, sir. Yeah, I do want to thank those people that reached out to me. I can't tell you what it meant. But let's get on with tonight's business at hand. And I'm going to make this fairly quick. On the 11th, I am going to spend an hour with you on the rules. If you have a specific rule that you would like for me to cover, please let me know. There won't be any questions live over it because we will wind up with 300 people sitting around waiting for one question to get answered. In that hour spent, we want to answer as many things as possible. I will also field any questions about the test. If you have a question that you think causes some unrest throughout the group on the test, be glad to forward that to me, and I will address those in that November 11th meeting and try to give you the rules reference that will kind of clarify the test question. I would like to briefly say a couple things about the test and whistle. It is the most confusing, disassociated, convoluted freaking program that I've ever been involved with. The specific instructions for those of you that may want to print your test off, there are two things that we can't do twice. We can take the test twice, but we can't take the test twice without submitting it. Because every time you hit take the test, it's going to roll up a new test on you. So once you hit take the test, the rest of the time that you're involved with that particular set of questions, don't hit take the test anymore. If you back out of the program, when you go back in and hit resume test. I'm not going to promise you what's going to happen, but I will promise you what's going to happen if you keep hitting take test. You're going to keep getting 50 different questions. You may get different questions even if you resume the test. Also, if you want to print your test, I think Leonard told me control print. I'm not computer savvy, but control print, the key is don't save your test before you print it. Print it first. Leonard, where are you? I'm right, correct? Yeah, print the test first and then save it. Don't save it first, because whatever it does, it's got a mind of its own. So if you print the test, then you save it, then you get out of it, and when you go back, resume the test. Your chances of getting your test back are higher. It's kind of like the lottery. We should bet on this because we'd be making a lot of money. I'll use myself as an example. I took the test, passed the test, and as soon as we submitted the test, I got a notification that I had another test waiting to take. I thought maybe they were just trying to find out how many tests I could take before I asked them how many do I have to take. So that stuff is happening, and they can't seem to get a handle on it. I can't explain it. All I can tell you is you're probably much better off first time you go on to take the 50 questions, give yourself some time to take it, and then submit it and be done with it. Be done with it. Okay, let's get to the rules, because there's 3 or 4 things early season that it's a good thing for us to practice. Number 1, I don't care whether it's a middle school game, high school game, whatever game you've got. Don't start the game without identifying who your game administrator is. Find out who that game administrator. If you're in the middle school, it could be an English teacher. If you're at a high school, more than likely it's going to be the athletic director or their designee. But there's somebody there that you run in the gym. Don't start the game without knowing who that person is. For several reasons. One, we may need them. In a crisis situation, we may need them. Secondly, it is an adult to defer someone to if we have a concussion problem. And there may not always be a certified medical person on site. We hope there is someone, but there may not be. We don't want to be the person who fools with that. It's the head coach and the game administrator. And then last but not least, we certainly hope there's not a problem with crowd control or coaches getting out of hand, or coaches never get out of hand, sorry about that, but you know what I mean. Something crazy happens, we need the game administrator. So never start the game without it. Secondly, going back to what Aaron said, we say this every year. I can't tell you, I was told this early in my career by an older guy, now I'm older, I tell you, don't answer statements, answer questions. If a coach or a player has a question for you, address the question. If it's a statement, don't get involved in dialogue, because that's an opinion. And we create unnecessary dialogue all the time when a coach makes a statement and then we have to chirp in with a response. Sometimes it's just okay to say, you're probably right, and move on. But don't get in a dialogue over statements. And if you're going to answer a question about a rule, you better know the rule. Because some of the coaches, and even maybe some of the players, may know the rule that you don't know. And there's nothing worse than you answering a question about a rule and you're wrong. You're better off saying, I don't know. So if you don't know the rule, don't make a comment. A couple of early season things that I've asked some questions about. Remember, protective equipment. You can't in high school, middle school, private school, anything that we do assignments on, you can't have a cast or any hard material below the elbow. I don't care how much padding they put on it. 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3 inches, 8 feet. They can't put hard plastic or a cast material from the elbow down and have a player participate. It's the rules. If it's above the elbow, you can pad it. I forget the exact term that's applied to the type of padding, but the bottom line is, if you're going to err, always err on the side of safety. Because I can tell you, it's 2018, and if some kid gets hurt, you're going to be the first name on the line with the lawyer. They're coming after you and everybody else involved. So if it involves equipment, and the referee has that rule to back himself up or herself up by saying, you have the right to rule on anything not covered in the rule book. If it's a safety issue, err on the side of conservatism and safety. Period. And then let Aaron know so we won't let the next game, let the player, the other officials be put in a position that, well, Stone let him play, why won't Reagan let him play? Okay, uniforms. I'm so tired of us being the uniform police that hopefully at some point in time they're going to write the uniforms out and just make the coaches responsible for the proper uniforms. But remember, headbands, wristbands, arm sleeves, leg sleeves, compression shorts all have to be the same color, beige, black, white, or the predominant color of the uniform. They get to pick one of those, but we can't have multiple colors. T-shirts different, got to be the predominant color of the jersey. Okay? Shorts on rolled up, shorts on rolled down. There's actually a play in the casebook this year, who knows where it happened, but somebody's shirt tail was so long they tucked it in the bottom of the compression short. Not sure I'd like to say, that's not a pretty picture. But whatever the case, the uniform by rule is meant to be worn as written in the book. It's a rule. And all we have to do is, it's not a technical foul. The players get to choose. Do they want to participate and dress properly, or do they not want to participate? Just like the shirt tail deal. You keep pulling the shirt tail out, they sit down. If you stop the game a second time for a player whose shirt tail is out, sit them down. We're not there to babysit. The coach is not going to let one of their good players, probably not going to let one of their marginal players, keep stopping the game because they won't dress properly. No good coach is going to do that. Coaches expect their team to play, the players to do what's expected by rule. But we don't play the game. One warning, second warning, take a seat. When you make the decision to follow the rules, come on back in, we want you playing. Good luck to you, okay? We're good on t-shirts. The correctable error. Remember, and I'm gonna go over this in depth in our November the 11th meeting. 5 correctable errors, 4 of them involved free throws. 80% of the correctable errors involve free throws. Too many, not enough. Right play at the wrong end, wrong play at the right end. And the one other correctable error that's there is a scoring error where we score the one basket and maybe the scoreboard has another one. Book errors can always be corrected up to the end of the game, and we leave the floor with the score confirmed. And remember, timing used to be back in the day, that was a correctable error. Timing is no longer a correctable error. That's specific knowledge. If you don't have specific knowledge of time adjustment on or off the clock, we don't go there. And we should always have specific knowledge, because someone in this crew has got to have some kind of count. And that should be the person we rely on. Shouldn't be a team meeting. We shouldn't have to have a vote. We should go right to whoever had the throw in, or was bringing the ball to court, or whatever the case was, and say, what was your count? 5. The clock didn't start. We need to add 5. We need to take 5 off. Specifically, done. 1 second. We don't need to take 30 seconds to make that decision. If the person who should have had an active count going is the accountant, then we need to have a team meeting when the game is over. Because you've hung the crew. We all look bad when we can't adjust the time. Somebody needs to go there. And it should be that one person. The backcourt clarification, I'm assuming, whoever Aaron is, that might have been the one he was talking about. Let me just, this is about as clear as I can say it. The rule has not changed. Somewhere, someone asked this question. If the ball is in front court and an offensive player throws a pass and it's deflected by a defender and goes into backcourt and is recovered by another offensive player, what is it? It's never been backcourt, because the last to touch was the defender and the first to touch, hold on. But somebody came up with that question. Where they came up with it, how much alcohol had been consumed, I don't know. But it is a question. So they came out with a clarification. A player in backcourt can recover a deflected ball if deflected by the defense. The backcourt rule has not changed at all. We must have possession in bounds. The offense must be the last team to touch it and cause it to go backcourt, and then must be the first team to touch it in backcourt. If that criteria is met, we have a violation, and the throw-in should be at the spot closest to where the violation occurred. Period. There's those 2 plays. Remember, I love to give them because it's so true. A1 out of bounds, throws the ball all the way up in the front court, hits A2 in the back of the head. They're not looking. Ball rebounds in the back court where A3 recovers it and dribbles it up the floor. What we got? We have nothing, because we've never had possession in bounds. But A1 throws it from out of bounds in back court into A2, who throws the same pass up the floor. Poor A3 is still not looking. Hits him in the head a second time. Bounds in the back court. Now what happens and who can recover it? Only the defense. because the offense had possession in bounds. They were the last to touch it in front court. Because if they go back court, they touched it first in back court, it's a violation. That rule has been the same since I can remember. And unless they change it, it'll be the same when I'm not refereeing. So don't go out there looking for something that's going to cause confusion, okay? The new clarification simply says that an offensive player that's already in backcourt can recover a deflected ball that deflects off of a defensive player in front court. It is what it is. Not going to debate it with you. I'm just telling you what it is. So keep your cards and letters coming in. If you've got any questions about a specific rule, let me know before the 11th. Remember this. There is one other rule I want to go over. I apologize. Possession error. Remember, once we award the possession of the ball on a throw-in by the arrow, that arrow will not be switched until one of two things happens. The throw-in ends, what's the key word? Legally. Or two, we have a violation by the thrower in, which means took too long, stepped over the line, not on the line, remember the line's still out of bounds. Stepped over the line, carried the ball in bounds, didn't throw it in bounds properly, threw it somewhere, it didn't go, whatever. If we have a violation on the thrower in or the throw-in ends legally, the arrow is changed at that point and that point only. If anything happens between the time that the ball is at the disposal of the thrower in until that throw-in ends or we have a violation by the thrower in, the arrow remains the same and we penalize whatever happened, i.e. the most common one is we have a foul. Somebody fouls somebody. Whether it's an offensive or team foul or defensive, we don't care. That's not a violation. That's a foul. So we would award the throw-in on the foul, but the arrow would stay the same. Everybody clear on that? If we get to the point where the thrower-in has violated or the throw-in is complete, if they violate, they lose the throw-in because of the violation, and they lose the arrow because, in the famous words of Clarence, it's the rule. It's the rule. They lose that arrow if they violate. So if A had it and A went 9 seconds before they released the throw-in is violated, they're going to lose the ball on the throw-in and they're going to lose the arrow because that's the rule. They lose that arrow at that time. So, got a question on a rule, get them to me please. Same thing as last year, I'm no better than you make me. I'm not going to promise you, for those guys that use me, I had multiple questions over the summer. I do not know the rule book backward and forward. I can't tell you where all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, but I can promise you one thing, before the sun comes up the next day, we're going to have the answer. Even if I have to call Indianapolis and find out from the big kahunas out there what the heck is going on. But we'll find out the answer. And as I said, you make me better interpreter. So give me your cards and letters and your questions, and we'll do the best we can. So looking forward to a good year. And again, I appreciate you letting me be your interpreter. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Stone. Again, coaches, ADs, if you have any questions about the rule book, Jerry will be able to help you. Jerry is also the state rule interpreter for softball as well. A lot of our members do dual things as far as volleyball, softball, baseball, so forth. So Jerry's the man on that. He's on the website if you want to email him directly. Again, during your scrimmages, officials will be available for you to answer. Take 5-10 minutes out, ask all your questions. They'll be able to help you. Those members who need jackets, today is the last day. See Alan Gravitt, the treasurer, about jackets. Got to have our emblem on it. Okay. Aaron will send out something later. We may look at pink whistles. Most of us already have it. We'll get that in a hopper as well. Just a quick reminder, during the season, we'll be sending out text about locations after the game. Say, for example, Uptown Alley or wherever. We'll just get together afterwards. A mass text or email will go out from camaraderie and so forth. See Cliff Smith if you're interested in a end of season get together, dinner and so forth. We need to invite our coaches and so forth with us. So we're exploratory surgery, if you will, on that type of stuff. Up next is Haywood. Haywood, Jerry Riggett, Mr. Stone are part of our training committee. We formed that a couple of years ago. That is their primary job, is to train all our members all year long. And they do a good job of it. These individuals have met high levels of basketball above high school. They know all the rules. They've been there. They've done that along with Mr. Bennett and others that did a fantastic job with this board. Thanks.
Thank you, Norman. Good evening, everyone. All right, I'm happy to see everybody out, and I was excited to see everyone as I look above, I look out here, and I look and see you guys. Most of you guys are in shape, and you're ready to go. This time of year is exciting for me because I'm getting my uniform together. I'm getting some new shoes. I'm getting me a new shirt. I'm making sure my pants are not too big on me. I'll make sure I get some shirt stay to make sure my shirt stay in my pants, and I want to look good. Today, before I get into my presentation today, I want to recognize some people. Like you said, we do training. We have a training group this summer that was just outstanding. So I want to recognize all of you. If you held a camera, if you came out there to observe, if you came out there to officiate, could you just please stand? All of you that came out to Randolph-Macon, just please stand for a second. Very good. Outstanding. Outstanding, guys. Give yourself a hand. Thank you so much. These individuals came out, and you can see that we train. Basketball nowadays, people, is 24 months. You must train to get better. Myself, I went to about 6 or 7 camps this summer to try to get better. And it's an everyday process. Are you going to get every play right? No, you're not going to get every play right. You're not going to get, but we strive to do that. We strive to get better. I'd like to also recognize, hey guys, over here, please. Over here, this is so important. Could we move this way? I'd like to recognize another group here. How many people worked the state tournament this year? State tournament. Just stand up for a second, please. You worked the state tournament. Stand up, please, Jesse. All right, congratulations to you. Outstanding. I charge you guys that work the state tournament to be even better this year. You must be better because everybody looking at you, and they want to follow your footsteps. So you must be better this year, all of them, and we can do that. Okay? We have a few people in here. I'm going to recognize another group before I get into my presentation. A few people in here. Richmond is a hotbed for basketball officials. Over the last 3 years, these people have spent $2,000 to $3,000 going out there trying to get better, going to camp. Each camp costs about $500. The camp in which we had, and we film every quarter. These people go to camp to try to get to the next level, and they have been very successful. We have Kevin Oliver, we have Earl Lee, we have Breland Hillman, we have Rustin Jesse, CJ Arm, Dominique Reynolds, Quinn, Katie Wood, Chris Pollard, Cliff Smith, Greg Rudolph, Tanya Meekins, Shelley Smith, and Casey Riggins. These individual people, this over the last 2 to 3 years, and I'm sorry if I missed your name, but over the last 3 years, they're trying to get better. And somebody plucked them and said, hey, come on, and referee, and come on in my, on this college level. So I'd like to give them a hand, people. Outstanding job. And with that, to those college guys that made a college staff, you must work harder now. You must work harder because people are looking at you as the college guy, that you got to be perfect. And nobody's perfect. But you got to go out there, get into the rule book, know the difference between the high school rule and the college rule, and you must be a leader. And you go into your game saying, hey, I am a leader. Okay? All right, now let's get to the presentation. Could you pull that up, guys? All right, over the summer, we had an opportunity to talk to NBA supervisor, some college supervisors. Aaron and I had an opportunity to be together during the summer camp, and we asked the question from the coaches, what is the biggest concern do you have? What is the biggest concern, biggest complaint that we have? And all of them said the biggest complaint at the NBA level, the NBA level, at the college level, as well as the high school level, and that is ability to communicate effectively. The ability to communicate effectively. So that's one thing we're going to work on in the Richmond area. We're going to work on that. Ability to officiate effectively. Okay? First thing we're going to do is we're going to always be a professional. All the time. You are no more just Hayward Boston. You are Hayward Boston, the basketball official. So you're going to carry yourself in the supermarket, in the mall, everywhere you go as a professional. I can't afford to go out here and have too many cocktails. I can't afford to have too many cocktails and get a DUI, get stopped by the police officer. Because I'm not just looked at just Hayward Boston, I'm looked at Hayward Boston, the basketball official. As you walk into your gymnasium, people, you make sure you are professional. You go up in the bleachers, you get there early, you sit up there in the bleachers. You make sure you dress properly, like our president just said. We must dress properly. You are being interviewed. And I guarantee you, when you walk into your gymnasium, they are looking at you. AD, teachers, the public is looking at you. So you always be a professional. You treat that locker room like a professional. You go in that locker room, that is somebody's coach's office. I know. I was a coach. And when the official used to use my locker room, and then I come back the next day to teach my class, my locker room all tore up. I'm upset. So we're going to go in there, we're going to treat their locker rooms. We're going to treat their locker room. If we take a shower, we make sure it's clean. You make sure you take a towel in there to dry the water up. You make sure the teachers' papers are back where they belong, and you make sure their chairs are pulled up as you leave your locker room. And don't leave, they give you water, don't leave the water bottles on the floor. You take the water bottles, put them in the trash can. That's a professional. So you do that, people. So that is communicating without even opening your mouth. You communicate also giving your pregame. As you give your pregame with each other, communicate. Talk about plays. Talk about how you're going to handle a situation. Every game is different. I know we got veteran referees in here that have been refereeing a long time. You may work together on Thursday and Friday, but you got two different teams, two different coaches. So you got to always talk about something. Now, let's get into the communication part, which is very, very, very important. It's not about always just blowing the whistle. You have to learn how to communicate with the coach. You have to learn how to communicate with Aaron. And I'm going to give you some things to try to help you. My personality may not be like yours. Everybody got a different boiling point in here. So you may be a little different. I'm going to tell you what works for me in communication. First of all, people, in communication, we must listen before we respond. Listen before we respond. Okay? So when I go out there on the floor, when I'm checking it out and I tell my U1 or U2 or whatever, I ask it for the captain and I ask the captain. I say, Captain, tell me how many players you have as well. Double checking myself. I'm communicating with my scorekeeper, my timer, because they're my friend. Because you can be in a ball game, your timer and your scorekeeper can mess your game up. So I want to be able to be on the same team. If I see them getting too excited about the game, I'm going to simply walk over. I said, you got to be neutral. I know the game is good, but you got to be neutral now, okay? They go, hey, I'm sorry. Peaceful, peaceful. I'm out there, when I'm out there, I'm checking the chairs. The coaches got 28-foot mark, they can walk all the way down. I make sure those chairs are in the box. I make sure that first chair, when that coach get up, that he's not always out of the box. Because your coach is supposed to be in the box. So I make sure that chair is enough so he can at least take 2 steps to the left, and then he can walk all the way down. Now, I'm gonna tell you a situation that may help you out. You got assistant coaches standing during your ball game. As you go by the coach, or you're there at the free throw line, you just simply ask the coach, hey coach, I need your help. First thing he's gonna say, oh, what you need, what you need? Hey, your assistant coach is standing up when we go down the scene. Can you help me out? Hey, most of them are gonna say, hey, sure, I can help you out. Hey, look man, have a seat. Now, this is where you work the other part of it, because you get different situations. And you ask the coach, said, don't worry about him, you work with the game. Okay. Nothing negative. I'm not going to respond back to him. Since the coach standing up, hey, next time, warning on the bench. I'm going to put it in the book. Because you already know, hey, I gave you a break. I asked you very nicely. You didn't respond. You didn't help me out. Warning. Next time, he's up, assistant coach is still standing up. Okay, you do what you got to do. Because you already given everybody a warning. You're working with everybody. Okay? Now, coach call you over, ask you about a play, you listen. I don't have to respond. He think it's a foul, or he didn't think it was a foul, and I call a foul. I'm listening. What do you have to say? And I may say, hey, okay. Because I'm not going to take the foul away. Have you ever made a call and you took the foul away because he said something? No. But you listen. You listen to him. You listen to his concern. And then I talk basketball knowledge to him. From my angle, coach, from my angle, the defensive man jumped from A to B, he made contact. He may disagree, then I'm going on. I just forget that battle. I'm not into that. I'm going on officiating. Okay? But I'm going to listen to him, listen to his concern the whole time. I got to realize, Aaron talked about being consistent. I got to realize that the game gets 4-1 in foul. 4-1. What question is the coach going to ask you when you get close back? Hey, foul count 4-1. You got to be ready for a response. If it's early during the game, what I usually say, coach, the game is early. You realize that. That's it. Game is early. We realize that. And hopefully the foul count equal out. Because that's all they want. They want the game, and coaches want the game. They don't want no fouls to get out of whack. But sometimes you got to explain to the coach and say to the coach, hey coach, you know, they're taking the ball to the basket, you play in the zone, and you shoot trade. Try to take the ball to the basket. You know? Do it in that tone. They up here, you go here. Okay? They up here. I don't get warning sign. You may get warning sign. I don't get warning sign if I put my hand in the face. Or using a stop sign. Okay? Talk, I get away. I'm doing my job. But I'm going to listen to him. I'm gonna listen to him all the time because he may have a concern. He may see something that I didn't see. He may say, hey, look, my number 55 is being held. And what I'm gonna say to him is, hey, I'm gonna take a good look at that, coach. Thank you. And I leave with, thank you. You bring here. We have to be an effective communicator when we're out on the court. You have to be. Okay? When they go high, we go low. Okay? We have to listen before we respond, be a diffuser, not an escalator. We don't want to escalate it. We want to bring it down here. We want to bring it down here. Okay? If you don't know what to say, don't say anything at all. Don't say anything at all to get yourself in trouble. Because most of the time, the biggest phone call, we say something that we didn't need to say. Don't say nothing smart back. And you don't have to have that last word. You don't have to have it. Don't take none of it personal. None of this stuff personal. They out there. The game is not for the referees. The game is for those 10 players and those coaches. The 10 players and the coaches. They don't care about the referee. Only time they're concerned about that referee is if we're late or we don't show up. I'm telling you, the stands are not filled to see us. The stands are filled to see the team. So we in there, we're doing them a service. So listen to their response. Listen. We don't go up in the stand throwing people out of the gym. No. They talking, they hollering, they saying whatever. 8450. If I got a concern, they told you to go find the administrator. Hey, excuse me. Hey, look, we got a problem over in the corner. Could you send somebody over there closely and just observe that for me? Hey, thank you. Just like that, and you go and do your job. Then when they come on the court, that's a different story. I'm not gonna point here because I missed a play and throw you out of the gym. No, leave that alone. I got enough headache here between that 8450. Enough headache. Okay. Be a common factor. Never take it personal. Never take it personal. Okay? Never take none of this personal. When you're out there and you're on the court. He may say something to you. Sometimes you can say, Coach, I don't think I've been disrespectful to you. Okay? Ease into it. Now if you get out of line, you'll know what you gotta do. You don't have to threaten by putting a whistle in your mouth. You just do what you have to do in a professional manner. And I remember somebody told me when I was young in my career, I used to say, bam! And the coach said, oh, no problem with the technical foul. Did you have to say bam? Because guess what I did? I let my emotion get involved. That's what happened. I let my emotion get involved because he said something or did something or she said something or did something that just struck the nerve. And I said, bam! I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. Again, you don't have to have the last word, okay? You don't have to have the last word. All of us in here are different. Like I was just telling you, I don't know your boiling point. You have to be a good listener. Before the coach finishes, just let him get it out. Move away. You know, I talked to you about at the free throw line when you administer the free throw, get away from him. Get away. If he calls you over, you go over. I'm not in there coaching box. I don't want to be in there coaching box. Let him coach. Hey, Mr. Fisher, can I see you for a minute? Sure. Listen. Okay. Hey, I said okay. And then you move on. Okay? Sometimes you gotta say, Coach, I might have missed that play, but we're gonna do better. Trust me, we're gonna do better. I might have missed that one. And guess what? How many of you in here have never missed a play? None of us. We're gonna miss a play. We're not that great. I don't care what level, NBA, college, high school. We're going to miss a play. We're trying not to. We're trying not to. And we can do that this year, people, with some effective communication, learn how to control our emotions, learn how to control ourselves, be a professional all the time. Whatever you do, we should never have anybody going to a game not being professional. Dress properly. Look the part. All the time. I guarantee you, people, you'll become a better official. We're going to, right now, the next part, I'm going to show you 3 plays, and we're going to break them down. And this is the time where, can you put the plays up? This is the time where we can't tell a coach. We cannot tell a coach, hey, I missed that play. Because the last 2 minutes of the game, we must be perfect. We have to do everything possible to be perfect. Are we still gonna miss one? Yes. Does it feel good when you miss it? No. Last 2 minutes of game, we got to do everything possible not to give a technical foul. Why? Because the coach can't recover. Early on, technical foul helps the game. Late, this is late. 3 plays, we got 20 seconds to go. Technical foul is not on our mind. What's on our mind now is get this play right. Get this play right. All of the rotations and all now, when you coming down the stretch, we must be perfect. I got 20 seconds to go. 20 seconds to go. Run it full speed. Just run it full speed.
Drive to the rim and look for the 2, but I think it all starts by getting the ball down low to Hayes and then play as the defense.
And then we're going to break it down.
Out or take it strong. Daniels looking for the cutters. Gets it to Martez Walker. Walker for 3. Got blocked by 4.
All right, stop. Foul or no foul? Everybody say foul? Everybody agree with foul? Okay, everybody agree we should have had a whistle. Right? All right, let's break this down. And we're going to break this play down. Run it back. Everybody agree, right? We should have had a whistle. Please look at the play. Can y'all see the play over here? Okay, here we go. All right, first of all, stop it right here. Now, you see this guy right here in the slot, center. We need to, with 19.5, we got to get to the foul line. See that? Foul line, 1 step. Okay, bring it up to the center of the court. One more. Keep on dribbling. All right. We're in good position. He's still too high. He needs to be here. The ball is moving. We had 1. All right, stop. Right here. Lead. At that point, this point right here, he is no help. He got to get here because we want as many eyes on the ball. All we're concerned about is the last second shot. That's the ball game. That is the ball game. Trail. Nobody's over here. We got to come here to help him. Now, when it's like this, you got to move whatever you got to move to see in between these players. You got to go. Lee got to get here to help. Run it. Slow. Bam. Right here. He's straight line. He can't see up there. He got to move here. Okay? You got to move here to see that play. Keep running. Bang. We got to have a whistle. All right, keep running it. All right, keep running. Stop, stop. Right here. Now. Okay. Let's bring it like this. We in a ball game, tough ball game. We now got 4 seconds to go on the court game. Now we got coaches in here. Great. Right here, coach. He feel like it was a foul. What are we gonna do with him? Wait. Let's see something. Jesse, what would you do with him? Question. What you gonna do with him? We be walking back. At that time, if you was in this game, Jesse, what would you do? Forget it. All right. Think about it. What we gonna do with this coach? What you said, Jeff? All right. Okay. Good question. Now, this is a thought that I want to share with you, all of you. The 84 by 50 or the 94 by 50. That is for the players and the officials. Right here, everybody sees him on the court. 4 seconds to go, right here, I don't care. He is on the court. You have no choice, even though right here we missed that technical foul. We got to give technical foul. Now, if he's here, walking up and down here, saying whatever he's saying, but guess what? Nobody can see that. He's saying whatever he's saying. He's here, walking up and down here. He's okay. I got to get away from him. But he's here, on the court, live ball. Coaching, I got to get technical foul. You understand that, right? Technical foul in that situation, okay? All right. Second play. Okay, everybody agree that we have to move to get our angle. All right, next play. All right, now, end of the game situation. What I say, we got to be perfect, right, guys? We got to be perfect. Now, first of all, end of the game situation, I have 6 seconds to go. They go into the basket. The score is 80, 82. Everybody got to get to the front court. That's why I said we got to be in shape. This trail, once that ball is in, you got to sprint. Get here. I got 6 seconds. Watch it live. Go. Oh, bam. All right. Slow it down, right? Go back. Take it back. Everybody see it? Okay, let's go. Let's go again. You want to see it live? All right, see it live. Show it live. Go back. End of the game. Watch the defense. Wait. All right. Everybody see him grab the rim? Everybody see that? All right. What do we got to do in this situation? Last second shot. Okay, go back just a little bit. Bang, see the trail? The trail right here? He got to get down the floor. He got to tell me, give me some information. Where's the ball? You got to find the ball. Where is the ball? He got last second shot. Here, slow it down. Keep going. Bang, he blocked the shot. Now, we got to determine, all of us. At that time, you send both teams to the bench. You got to get calm. You got to go and say, well, the ball out of his hand. Okay. If we determine the ball was out of his hand, if the ball was still in his hand, all bets are off. Game over, right? The ball is out of his hand. Got a chance to go in. We have the defender grab the rim, block the shot. Wow. Wow. Grab rim, block shot. Uh-oh, now, Marvel's got to turn. You get together. One got to say, hey, I saw him grab the rim.
Grabbed the rim, ball out his hand, he blocked shot. He grabbed the rim, we got 2 shots, don't we? All right, speak up now. We got 2 shots. They get 2 shots and the what? And the ball. In that situation. But at that time, all 3 of us got to slow down at the end of the game because we must be perfect. We have to be perfect. First thing we got to determine is the ball out of his hand. Okay, yes, it is out of his hand. Okay, what happened? As the ball was in the air, the clock sounded, he grabbed the rim and blocked the shot. We must penalize that. We have to penalize that. Now, good question is, ball release, horn sound, is any time on the clock? Do we put time on the clock? Huh? Okay, you got to determine that and say to yourself, the ball was released, horn sounded, game over, but he grabbed the rim, block shot, there's no time, clear the line, we're going to shoot a technical foul here, he make the shot, game over. If you can determine there was time on the clock, if somebody got different knowledge that we got time on the clock, then we're going to put time on the clock. Good play. We have to be perfect down the stretch. Perfect. Everybody in front court and be calm. Last play that I'm done. Come on, show the last play. Very good. All right, guys, we're at the free throw line. Free throw line here. Now, at the free throw line, all right, we at the free throw line. We now, stop it. We got what, 1 second on the clock. Now, we have high school people doing the clock. They're not perfect. They emotional. They want their team to win. We got a sub gonna come to the table. We got 1 second on the clock. We have to know that. We have to know what's on the clock. Knowledge. He make the first free throw. Okay, continue. All right, coach on the floor. We can get him back. He emotional. No technical foul in. Okay, he shoot. All right, right here. Bam, 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 bam. Who can hurt us? Can't nobody hurt us. We on a violation we can get. No defenses here. They going where? Back here? So what do we automatically say? I'm going back there with it. I got 1 second on the clock. Ball, shot, continue on. Bounce the ball. Shot clock.
It's about with the miss, intentional.
Bang! She sounds the horn as the ball is in the air. What are we gonna do? They have it. They don't both sound the horn. They anticipated that they were gonna make it. They missed the shot. So what do we have to do? Calm down. Okay, to sound the horn. They didn't supposed to sound the horn. What we're gonna do? Get together, get the ball back to this team. We're gonna put what's on the clock? 1 second, .1 on the clock. There you go, you're right. And okay, continue on with their play. They're gonna bring the ball down here. They're gonna try to shoot it, and they almost made it. So what I'm trying to get to all of us is, if we don't get anything today, is first of all, we're gonna communicate. We're gonna be good listeners this year. And down the stretch, last 2 minutes, we must get together. We must talk. We must communicate. We must be good. We must be perfect. Are we gonna miss a play? We might miss a play. But we got to be perfect in this game. Okay? Any questions? I hope you enjoy it. All right, talk to you later. Oh, I went over my time.
Thank you. Hello? 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 Thank you, Haywood. It is past our 7:30, but Jerry has some brief things. If you have to leave, I understand. Be safe going home. But,
what's it worth for me to cut this short? You got it. Norman, I got 2 tickets last week. Catch both for the next one. Captain Gray promoted to captain of the Virginia State Police this summer. Congratulations, Norman. One of our very finest. Thank you, sir. Proud to know you. All right, listen. I'll make catch up. I'll play catch up on the webinars next week too on some of my stuff. Thanks, Jim. All right, real quick. Hey, I'm gonna be done in less than 10 minutes. So if you don't want to go, that'd be great. I need the following people to stand real quick: Grover Thrower, Benny Spiller, Johnny Jones, Cameron Gilbert, Mark Berger, Katie Wood, Leonard Lane, Benny Spiller, Kenny Eastling, Greg Randolph, C.J. Arms, Todd Barnes, Aaron Fortby, David Rittenhouse, Eric Morton, Chris Turner, Alan Jackson, Duncan Hardcastle, Scott Dickens, Porfirio Shambles, Chris Olson, Haywood Boston, Galen Kosh, Fred German, Reggie Kane, Candace Curtis Dudley, Daryl Dalton, John Ingram, Antoinette Irving, and Clarence McFarland. Those people, big hand for their help with the training class as well. Thank you so very much. The trainee sheet for this year with the Big Brother, Big Sister only. All right, listen. Excuse me. Again, I have a really good slideshow from the officials manual. I'll run it next week for y'all, and I've also got some great clips from the Federation. I get all my stuff off the Federation because I want to keep you in tune with the rule changes that go along with the rule book, so I cover that area, and we get some other people, Haywood covers some other areas. So this is a great cross match. If you have a provisional or associate as your little brother or little sister, if you had that person last year and they're an associate or provisional this year, go ahead and just keep them as your little brother, little sister. We will post this on my CVBOA, correct? It is posted on there. So, the people that are going to be big brothers, big sisters for my trainees, I'm going to put them up on the board. They're already up there. Scroll down so they can get to the trainees. Now, I've either talked to these big brothers, big sisters, or, I hope they didn't leave, or I left them a message. When the meeting is over, I need all provisional, all associate, all trainees, and their big brothers, big sisters to meet each other over here on the side. Everybody with me? Okay. I guess that, let me read the names real quick. Trainees. Big brothers, big sisters are listed right there. Do I need to read those names? Sorry we couldn't get it through. Norman, can I send them? You want to do it, my friend? Captain Norman Gray.
All right, our next meeting, Jerry will be primary on the training. Thank you, be safe, help us get the trash. Thank our friends at Lee Davis for inviting us. Thanks.